Hello, Convocation. I am happy to join you. My father asked me to share just a couple of words on how the Lord's Day has been important to me in my life. I have done this recording now several times, and every time it's been between 15 and 20 minutes. So I've now set a timer to keep me in check. My dad told me between 5 and 7 minutes, so here we go. Basically, for me, the Lord's Day has always had a special place. As a child, it was mandatory, and as an adult now, it's something that I greatly look forward to doing every week as I can, as much as I can, with my family and often with friends here in Greenville, South Carolina. Come visit. Well, anyways, so as a child, a couple words that would come to mind when thinking about the Lord's Day, as I mentioned, mandatory. It was a pattern. It defined the structures of our week. And often, by allowing a good reason to do chores, to get in that last work on Saturday, thoroughly cleaning the house inside and out. As a child, that was on Friar Street in Van Nuys. The original hood, original cluster. Don't mean to offend anyone, but it's true. We would spend the morning and the early afternoon cleaning outside, moving into inside. Often that meant sweeping the leaves off the dirt in the backyard, creating a lot of dust, allowing that dust to settle, polishing the furniture after the dust had settled. Really, but we did clean thoroughly inside and out. Felt like the whole day, at least that's how I remember it. The mood of the house would change. In the morning, a lot of complaining, and in the evening, or in the afternoon really, early to mid, the mood would shift as the environment changed. We started to smell and hear the food preparation in the kitchen. And this was the first sign of excitement of things to come. My mom would would give an extra effort making a special meal. Mom, your food's always great, but on the Lord's Day, it was especially delicious, and it still is. So, we would, when the time was right, somewhere around 4 to 4:30, we would change out of our work clothes, wash up. We would head to the living room next to the dining room and start listening to some nice, relaxing music and have hors d'oeuvres. As age allowed, we would have cocktails and wine. And then we would have an official transition to the Lord's Day. We'd wear something nice, our best pair of flip-flops, something with a collar, and gather around the table. We would spend the next couple hours in that room together. As a child, looking forward to that opportunity to have just a little bit of wine and also enjoy some food. And as we got older, we just spent time laughing and talking and interacting with guests and friends who were there, but also the singing of the songs. We'd always try find an opportunity to do more songs. Anyway, outside of the Poppleton house, we would do Lord's Days as a community. It was part of our culture. And that would mean at summer socials, at sleepovers. If I wasn't at home, I was at the Hoffmans or the Dawsons, we would do Lord's Days. At our second table, which was the Ladisa house for High Holy Lord's Days, often we would gather there, and they had this great grand table extending from their dining room through their living room to the front door almost. And I'll never forget all the laughter and joy that surrounded that table with the Ladisas and the Kohlers and the Shapanskys, my godmother. That all gave me what I needed to take the Lord's Day with me when I left LA. I went to Catholic University in Washington, D.C., and didn't start the Lord's Day there quickly, but second semester, freshman year, got together with my men's group and we did Lord's Days. And I recognized, as I got more involved in ministry, it's a great thing to share. It's a great place for fellowship. Like the highest levels of fellowship seem to take place around around that meal. I'm sure wine helps, especially on a college campus. I'm not advocating for underage drinking. In fact, oftentimes college authorities don't appreciate the Lord's Day, even when you try to explain it to them that it's not really underage drinking. Yeah, it's not something I'm recommending, but I'll leave that up to you. The Lord's Day became a pattern in my university experience. Sophomore to senior year, we almost did it weekly. We had a great, dedicated group that enjoyed doing the Lord's Day, and for me, it was not just about fellowship and ministry on campus, but it was a way to connect with my home, connect with my family, really the cultural identity that I was brought up in. And that became important because, as it turns out, I wouldn't live in the West Coast again. And it was a tangible way for me to keep a bond with my family and the friendships that I have in community, with community members. The Lord's Day during those young adult years really went everywhere with me, or I went everywhere and followed it in my travels, great places. On pilgrimage with Todd and Peter and at Lourdes, in Rome for Pentecost with some college pilgrim friends, and meeting Alleluia members and doing Lord's Days on the streets of Rome, and Phoenix Institute with David Dawson and my brother John Paul and Dr. Evans. We did Lord's Days from memory. We shared the singing of the songs, always looking for an opportunity to do and share a Lord's Day wherever we were. In D.C. at the Quincy House with Nathan Castellanos, Marie Pascal Malmafertich and her husband and family, my family. When I met my wife, after my wife and I settled in D.C. for a couple years, we did Lord's Day with them and other members of our parish. Finally, we brought it to Greenville, South Carolina. We do it here. It's great. It's so effortless to do a Lord's Day. My children, 3 kids, 3 and under, they love it. Yeah, they're crazy, but we love it. They really get into it. So the more significant Lord's Days that I have had in recent years have actually been by myself. When I haven't had other people to do Lord's Day, if I'm traveling or on retreat or somewhere away from my family or the people that I would often celebrate it with, it has given me a chance to reflect on it, to chew and meditate on those words and songs, and to start to unpack the experiences that I've had. And so clearly ingrained in my mind of my father during the laying on of hands and the blessing of the children. And now when I do that with my own children, the placement of honoring the mother and now my wife, the primary position of honoring the Lord, thanking the Lord, reserving that first toast for the Lord. It has made me realize, it has opened my eyes to see that this is where, in a tangible way, the faith was passed down to me. this is where I was given a platform to develop my adult faith through relationships, through a form of community. The Lord's Day has been more significant, even in just the structure, the backdrop that it is on the week. It has been more significant than I ever thought it would be. Something to look forward to and to recall once it's over, and that meal has, I didn't realize it as a child, but it really does, you set the tone for that whole day, that whole encounter with the Sabbath. And I'm grateful for that. And I hope my children can say the same thing, 30 years from now. And I thank you, City of the Lord. I promise my dad's not putting me up to that, but I thank you guys for your yes, for your commitment to covenant life, and the Lord's Day especially, as it has blessed family life. It has blessed the experiences that we've been able to come together and share as fellow Catholics and fellow Christians, and now that I share with my family and our friends here. I see that I've gone over, so I'm going to cut it here. God bless you. Thank you. Me and my family, or my family and I, are praying for you. I wish you guys the greatest convocation. May God bless you tonight and tomorrow and on Monday with an outpouring of the Spirit. So on that note, I hope I could say it now in Phoenix, if it is the time. Good Lord's Day, and have a great evening.